Good day, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Wind Down Wednesdays with your girl, Josiah, and I'm so excited for this episode. This episode is going to be really insightful and also juicy. But before we get into today's episode, I just want to let everybody know that the Level Up Planner and Journal, along with the notebook, is live now. I always preach it. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. A lot of persons ask me so many questions on how I do what I do, why I stay focused, how I stay motivated, and I want you to know this. I write down every single thing. I don't let anything, I don't leave anything for remembrance. I don't do that. I write down everything. And persons are more likely to actually reach their goals if they write down it. I'm just going to say it just like that. If you don't believe me, Google it. And with that being said, I am so excited to tell you all. I have an announcement. I'm pregnant. I ain't getting married yet. Soon. But anyway, moving on, right? I have this big announcement, and it's based off your feedback. I'm always looking for better ways to please my audience and my supporters. And one of the main things that I have gotten in regards to feedback from you all is that you wanted more information and context on relationships. You wanted more information because as young people, we do struggle with this. For some reason, we just can't get it damn right. We just don't get it right. Times has changed, sex has become easier, so therefore we are trying our best to figure out how to have decent relationships with persons in this day and time. And with that being said, I can let you all know that I have finally completed, and it is now live, my second book, and it goes by the name Pass Me the Wine. And the reason that I named it Pass Me the Wine is because you're going to need a glass of wine when I basically tell you all the truths that you may not want to hear. Everything is in that book. I talk about the F-boys. I talk about saving your cookies for later. I talk about marriage. I talk about money. I talk about everything inside the book in regards to relationships because you requested it and I wanted to give it to you all. And I really hope you do enjoy it. It is now live on all major platforms. You can get a copy of it on Amazon. Don't forget to click the link in my bio. And don't forget my baby. My baby was 23 going on 2020. And without that book, we would not have passed me the wine. So make sure to grab a copy of that as well. Now let's get into today's episode. I am dressed for the occasion. I'm dressed for love. I'm dressed for love, guys. But I ain't talking about love. I want to talk about the things that we don't want to talk about. I'm going to talk about sex, but I'm going to talk about the side of sex that many persons push under the rug. And I want to talk about soul ties and sex. Yes. Now, a lot of you would be like, oh, what soul ties mean? It's an old people thing. Yada, yada, yada. No, soul ties is an old people thing. Y'all make it an old people thing because y'all like toxic. You make it an old people thing because you don't want to leave the man alone that doesn't want you. You make it an old people thing because you want to satisfy your needs and you want to satisfy your vagina or you want to satisfy your penis at the expense of your mental health. Literally, that's why. Soul ties is so serious, right? And let me tell you something. You don't take soul ties serious until you stay in some situations where you ask yourself, what the hell I was thinking. I've had a lot of WTF moments in my life, especially in regards to relationships. I've had a lot of WTF, and I'm not the only person that has had WTF moments because I stopped that a long time because child insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So therefore I changed my whole mindset and I changed the way that I look at sex and relationships, which is why I give you guys Pass Me the Wine. So anyway, so a lot of you, let's get down to the right. Like, I want you guys to understand this topic because it would help you to not key the man car. It would help you not to beat up the girlfriend that you see him with. It will help you to leave the married man alone. Yep, all of this information is going to help you. So the first thing I want to touch bases on is what is a soul tie. So a soul tie is basically, we're going to look at it as in regards to our spirituality and our souls, right? Sex is something that God intended for husband and wife. Of course, in this day and time, our flesh our flesh is weak, right? And it's fine. We all, I can tell you, it is fine. I understand. I understand. However, y'all is be committing suicide with some of these people that you sleep with, and then on top of that, y'all is have babies for them. I don't get that, but we can save that stuff for something else. Moving on. So a soul tie is basically a union that is created through sex. Now, many of you out there, you don't choose your partner wisely. Y'all is have sex with Tom, Harry, and Dick, no pun intended. Y'all go and have sex with them, and you already see the person for what they are and what they basically what they is, and you expect to change them. Let me tell you something up front, and I wish the old people to tell us this. Sex can't change nobody. You could have the best sex in the world. You could be an acrobat. You could be an acrobat at sex. You could be the last airbender at sex. It don't change the person. It doesn't change somebody's feelings, because honestly, when sex is involved, most of the times it's infatuation. Like literally, you are infatuated. I'm telling you off the bat. Sex blinds your judgment. That is why you have to be so careful about the people that you decide to have sex with. It blinds your judgment. When I was with Mr. Toxic, and I sit down after I've left Mr. Toxic, let me tell you how I leave Mr. Toxic. I had to pray. One day, no, I was so serious. I had to pray. I literally had to pray. And I wish my friends was here for this episode. We had to pray together. We had to pray together. Because I was like, in no way. In no way. Like Mr. Krabs say, no flipping way. In no way. In no way. After everything that person did to me, that common sense would have had me in that relationship. It had to be something else. That is why I am telling you, soul ties are real. It blinds your judgment. And let me tell you something, with soul ties, this is what happens. Soul ties is like, I wish I had gum to demonstrate this. When you take, let's say we have the blue gum and the pink gum, and then you mash it together, that's how soul ties is. And then the reason that you are left empty, the reason you are left hurt and damaged, is because when you have to separate a soul tie, it pulls away some of you. So some of that person is with, some of you is left with that person, and then some of that person is left with you. Because when you mash gum together, and you pull it apart, some of the pink is going to be where the blue is, and some of the blue is going to be where the pink is. That's how soul ties are. And that's why sex was made for husband and wife, but we don't follow that rule. Thank God for forgiveness. Thank God for forgiveness. We don't follow that route, and that's why God hates marriage. God doesn't like not marriage. My apologies. God hates divorce. Jeez, we love marriage, but that's the reason why God doesn't like divorce, because it's damaging when you have to separate. It's literally damaging, and that's what sex does to us, and that's what leaves you empty. And then a lot of times too, you carry people demons when you have sex with them, whether you like it or not. Whether you saying, I ain't gonna deal with that, I ain't gotta deal with this, I ain't gotta deal with that. No. When you decide to open up your soul, I wish I had like some dramatic sound effects like woo ha ha ha, because it's something serious, right? But when you open up your soul to somebody, they are basically entwined with you in everything. So whatever demons they are fighting, you're going to fight with them too. So whether they're fighting depression, whether they're fighting suicidal thoughts, whether they're fighting anger, aggression, and all of those stuff, you pick them up when you decide bust it wide open. That's why you have to be careful who you bust it wide open for. No, I'm being so serious, and you have to be very careful who you bust into. Let's just be real. You have to be very careful, because the minute that you do that, you sign a contract. You sign a contract with that person. You sign a contract that, guess what? Just like how marriage is, through thick and thin, baby, and sometimes them thick and thin, really thin, you walking on thin ice. And then you ask yourself, well, why I can't leave? And then you try to leave by physical means and can't do it. When you create a soul tie with somebody, the only way to get rid of that soul tie after sex is to pray it out. You got to go to God. And many of us don't want to have a relationship with God. That's another topic. You don't want to have a relationship with God, right? I can be serious with y'all. In order for me to get rid of Mr. Toxic, I had to bring Mr. Toxic over my life. And let me tell y'all something. This is my prayer song. This is how my prayer song. I tell y'all exactly what I say. This is how my prayer song. I go to God and say, God, if you let me get away from this man, I promise you, God, I ain't gonna never, listen to me, I made some promises to God, but I probably didn't even keep my promise to God. I ain't even curse no more. I say, God, if you get me away from this man, I promise you I will never go back. I say, Lord, I will never entertain somebody like that again. And I prayed and I cried and I pleaded because I couldn't do it by physical means. That's how I know how serious a soul tie is. I couldn't do it by physical means. I needed prayer to get me away from him. And you know what? Some of y'all have soul ties with people who sex ain't even that good. It ain't even that good. It whack. And you trying to figure out why you can't leave. It's a soul tie. And whatever demons that person have, they're going to put in you. And then another thing too, you shouldn't want any and everybody inside you. It's bad for your pH, for your vagina. You shouldn't want every man inside of you. And men, you shouldn't want to go in every woman because it's real. It's real. What claps real. Those sickness, they real. And I feel in my generation, honestly, we take sex as casualty. Sex is something serious because, let me tell you something. When I first received betrayal from that man, I wanted to kill him. And I know boys, I ain't no killer. But don't push me. I ain't no killer, But I wanted to kill the man after the man did what he did. But I don't understand why I wanted to kill him because I know the type of person he was. I literally was thinking about chopping up the man in his sleep, which I don't advise so far. Please, don't go to jail for no man. But these are the thoughts that I had. And I know the person I was dealing with, and I know the person that I had, and I couldn't leave. For goodness sake, let me tell you the way to avoid a soul tie. Honestly, don't have sex. If your judgment is poor, don't have sex. Simple as that. Save your cookie. And let me tell you how you can figure out if this person you about to have sex with make a little bit of sense. Give them 90 days. Give them 90 days. And I ain't saying that because I just saying 90 days sound good. A person is going to show you who they are within the first 90 days. They can't hide it. I don't care how good they pretend. There's going to be a red flag. Now, it's up to you if you decide to look at the red flag. It's up to you. If you decide to ignore the red flag, and then when the man decide to bring Susie home and tell you sit down and shut up, you know about Susie long time, you can't get mad. You can't start crying because you did already know. You can't. Take sex serious. That's all I asking Take sex serious because when you have sex, you sign in a contract to stay with that person for a very long time and to deal with whatever they got going on. And in my book, in past me one, I talk about the 90-day rule and why you should at least wait 90 days. Some of y'all is just give it right up like in the first 24 hours over some firecracker shrimp or twisted lime. It's not that serious. It's not that serious. And I ain't even talking about that. You know what? Some of us don't even try to get gratuity on a check to give it up. We just go right there for Kong Silent and that's it. No, you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. No. Put a value on your vagina. Your vagina is so valuable. Your vagina is push out a human being. That is enough strength to know that you have to protect your vagina. Put a price tag on it, mom. If your vagina worth $1 million and it worth $1 million, put a price tag on your vagina. Put a price tag on your sex. Your sex should be so good that you don't want to give it to nobody else because you know they can go crazy when they get it. That's what you're supposed to do. But you guys don't do it, and women don't do it either. If you really, let me tell y'all something, and then y'all just be wondering, well, why? I don't know where I pick up these habits from. You pick up the habits from the person that you're having sexual intercourse with. That's where you're picking it up. And we might be angry at our grandparents when we say, oh, no, they want to have Sunday service again. No, listen to them. Because when you have sex, those demons, let me tell you something. The Bible tell you some spirits can only be cast out through fasting and praying. And some are saying even strong enough to fast. So therefore, and some are saying even got enough sense to pray. Hey. So therefore, why are you trying to pick up one demon which you don't even know to get rid of? Why you want to do that? Keep your legs closed until you have discernment. Keep your legs closed until you have discernment. I can preach it again. Keep your legs closed until you have discernment. And if the man decides to do something to you to hurt you, you need to be strong enough, woman enough, and man enough to move on. You need to learn how to pick your sexual partners appropriately. And I go back to what I said. Ask the man if he's looking for a fling or something serious, because some of y'all is getting into these sexual fling things, and then get mad when the man say you ain't going home to see mother. No, you can't do that. I literally gave y'all the remedy on how to keep soul ties and demons out your soul. Because some people's soul is so polluted, they don't even know. Some people's soul is so polluted. The only way, and if you already have a soul tie, like I tell you, go and pray. Denounce the contract that you have with it. Denounce the contract. Speak it into the atmosphere. Ask the Lord to release you. Keep your cookie to yourself. At least keep it to yourself for the first 90 days. Do not bust it wide open because he decided to give you conch salad. Do not bust it wide open because you have decided to go and get some firecracker shrimp and twisted lime. Do not bust it wide open because you got fluid out for the weekend. Keep your cookie to yourself. You all do know that you hold. Let me tell you all something. I being very serious with women in particular. You hold more power when you don't give up the cookie. The minute that you give up the cookie, I can tell you, you don't have as much power as you used to. You could get anything you want from a man when he has not seen your vagina yet. I can tell you that. That is why you should keep it to yourself until you are ready to do it. Okay. And if you want to know more about this, get my book, Pass Me the Wine. And it was a pleasure talking to you guys in today's episode. I hope I didn't hurt anybody's feelings. But, this is a judge-free zone. This is a judge-free zone. And I love you all. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for staying tuned for Wine Down Wednesdays. I hope we have more Wine Down Wednesdays to come. And continue to level up. Continue to be great. Continue to be good. And stay blessed. Bye.